Hello, good evening, everyone. It is Thursday night again. It's time for Luchi's channel. This is the show wherein we talk about everything under the sun, which we think it is useful, productive, and relevant. You can only watch us in Sustainable PH. Sustainable PH is a nonprofit organization which promotes sustainable living and which advocates a sustainable Philippines. How are you tonight, Kathy?
I'm good. I'm feeling excited tonight because after a long time, all three of us are on screen. We have been we have been doing this for almost a year now, or maybe a year now. Now it's our first anniversary, and that's that's because we started doing this streaming from the lockdown last year, the start of the
Oh,
lockdown
yeah.
last
Yeah.
year, and it feels great to to be able to engage with each other and be able to meet new people as well as guests in our show. And over the past months, we've met a lot of great people. And tonight also, we have another great guest who will give us his insights on what he does best. So, yeah, tonight I would like to present to you our other co host, Ian, who will be who will be reading
Ta-da!
who will be reading our I'm just matching your energy. Who
Okay.
is who is going to present our new segment also.
Oh, I
Yes. Hi,
see.
everyone. Good evening. It's nice to be here with the two of you. It's been a while since the three of us been
Oh,
together,
yeah.
and I am loving the presence of all three of us together. I'm coming to you from Makati. I am under lockdown, so it's been six
You
days,
are under lockdown.
and
Okay, so you can't go
yeah,
out, Ian. You can't go out.
Uh,
no, not at all.
she
I
Okay.
cannot
dare not.
join me for jogging.
Oh, my.
Yeah, yes, and
Okay,
other
okay.
things. So yeah,
Ian, tell
yep.
us something about that nga. I'm interested to know what the restrictions you have there in your area.
Mm.
Um, it was declared last Friday. Basically, what prompted it was the indicator of positives rose to 25 last Friday for this area of
Nice. Yeah.
Makati. So by midnight, they had declared us under lockdown for 3 days, supposedly until last Monday. They had
Mm-mm.
mass swabbing over the weekend, but due to the numerous, the large number of people, I got
Yeah.
swabbed Tuesday. But we
Oh,
are
you got swabbed on
taking
Tuesday. Was that free,
Tuesday.
Ian?
Yes, it's the city
Oh, my
government that
gosh.
took care
That's
of it,
good. Mm.
and they came to us. So they went to our unit in the apartment building, and they accommodated us
Oh.
during the evening. So that was
Mm.
nice because at least there's no inconvenience of having to go anywhere. So,
Okay.
but
Mm.
the challenge has been the lockdown on information as well. We haven't received any updates, so we're praying that since I'm still here and I haven't been pulled
Yeah.
out, it's only an indication that I'm not positive. So, hopefully,
Yeah.
that that uh, that assumption is correct. So we're just praying that everything will be fine, and I'll get to
Yeah.
see the light outside
Mm.
Yeah.
very
Okay.
soon.
I'm sure the results will come out negative. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Thank
sure.
you. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
So
Okay.
yeah,
yeah, I was mentioning earlier, we
yes,
want to
there.
Yeah.
introduce our segment. So, since we have met so many people, the stories that we have compiled and we have appreciated over the months have gotten us to an idea where we wanted to share, snippets of positivity from these people who have shared their stories, their experience, and their learnings. So, this evening we start by sharing one person's idea or what they have learned or their positivity from the pandemic, which is a pandemic win. right, Kathy?
Right. So
Okay.
So,
I am about to flash it.
Okay. Who's
Hang
this
on.
guy? Is he related to me or something?
oh,
Okay.
Hang on. I'm having some trouble right now. Sige lang. Let's proceed with let's move
Mm.
let's move that to the latter
okay,
part of our show instead.
Okay. Okay.
okay,
Siguro let's talk about last week's episode muna, Carl.
Okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, last week's episode was so useful. It was converting your trash into cash, and I found it very interesting because it is hitting two birds with one stone. The first problem is we really have a problem with trash. You know, I'm not saying yung Pilipino madumi or makalat, but ako rin siguro I'm guilty of that. Siguro regarding this, no, being clean, no, about our environment, we can do our little share by, for example, we eat chocolate, tapos then we don't throw that, how do you call it? Wrapper away.
rapper.
Tapos yan, whatever it is, no, yung mga plastic bag or paper bag natin, hindi natin tinatapon sa kalsada, mga ganyan. Pero sometimes we do, di ba? Kung candy wrapper yan, maliit yan, feeling natin, this won't hurt, tas tatapon natin. So bottom line,
Yeah.
siguro those little wrong things that we do, it contributes and accumulates to a bigger problem, which is we have
Mm.
problem with trash. And eto, our guest, no, he said that you can actually convert trash into cash. So the first problem nga, sabi ko, was about cleanliness. It's about waste management. And the second problem is we all know, no, we are a third world country, and we always hope, no, that more and more people would be employed or would have a source of income. Because right now, a lot of Filipinos are under the poverty line. So two problems, to. And his solution is why not convert the trash into cash? Yun.
Right.
Yun, in a way na parang mabibenta mo yung trash mo, tapos yan magiging cash.
Mm-hmm.
Pero ano, I have to say, hindi ako ang bibili ng trash nyo. There are there are agencies there that will buy your
Yes.
trash. He said, oo.
Yes.
Yeah. So
He
there.
mentioned Eco Bricks, as well
Mm.
as
Mhm.
he said that you can actually support your local what's that, trash pickers,
Yeah.
because they are in
Okay.
contact. Yeah, they're in contact with those who buy them.
Yeah.
So
Great,
there.
great.
Okay. All right. So for tonight, Ian, what do we have as our topic?
Yes, this evening, just like last week and every week, is also timely and equally significant the topic. This evening, our theme is safety versus economy in a pandemic with RK, our guest. So this evening, in light of our circumstances over the past week, where restrictions have tightened and multiple decisions and choices have to be made, again, so that we can contain and promote better health circumstances. The big question is the role of businesses, as well as responsibilities of government and obligations of people to follow. So this evening we'll touch a little bit on all of that, and it's timely because, again, just like last week, we're in the dark. We don't know what's going to happen. So hopefully this evening, we're looking forward to the insights of our guests.
Hmm.
All right. So, as Ian has mentioned, we have tonight a very special guest. He is Austrian. He has been living here in the Philippines for more than 2 decades already. So he has established himself already here in the Philippines, and then he is the founder and the CEO of his own company. It is called RK Franchise Consultancy. So I've known him for a long time now, and he's a great person, and we will definitely learn a lot from him tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rudolf Kotik. Hello,
Oh,
RK. Good evening.
good evening, Karlo. Good evening, Ian and Kathy. Thank you for inviting me to your weekly program. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Okay, Sir Rudolph, is it okay that we call you for short RK? Is that fine?
That's the right thing. Yes.
Okay. Before we proceed with the interview, I'm. It seems that you love the Philippines so much, and that's the reason why you stayed here. What made for 20 years? In fact, what made you love the Philippines and decide to, be based here?
Yeah, that was. I came before I stayed. I came here more than 20 times, so back and
Mm,
forth. So there was a time when I thought, it's the time to stay here. And since my whole life was before I came here, I was engaged in franchising.
mm,
I worked for multinational franchise companies. So the idea was, since I know something, but it's not yet that common. So probably take advantage of that and establish myself here.
I
Which in the end I did. We started out 1995 in Cebu and then moved 99 to Manila and opened here the final architecture consultancy in Cubao, and we are still in existence after 22 years and still alive and kicking when it comes to franchising.
see.
Pandemic.
Oh, that's nice. Before I shoot the first question to you, RK, no, I just want to say to the audience, no, RK is about franchising. And you guys know, no, to our viewers, franchising is a big thing in the Philippines. I mean, if you look, I think most of our products are franchised. I mean, popular products like McDonald's, Jollibee, you have KFC, you have Mang Inasal, so on and so forth. Red Ribbon, they're all franchise. So this type of business, no, is very popular in the Philippines. Actually, to tell you honestly, no, RK, and to our audience, me myself, I'm with my sisters, and we are franchising Potato Corner. So
Okay.
yeah, it's it's doing well, but it could be doing better if I was not eating all the fries. No, I'm kidding. So, we're franchising Potato Corner, and yeah. To our audience, please pay, give this much attention because who knows? Maybe later you will be franchising your own business too. So, okay, RK, I'll shoot the first question. No,
Good.
um, our topic for tonight is safety versus economy. So RK will be talking about franchising, but at the same time, he will be talking about because there's this balance of the government doing lockdowns, and it's affecting business, and what is we all know that COVID is there, but how do we go about it? So this first question is, we are experiencing a second wave of COVID. In fact, there are a lot of variants. Just when we have slowly restarted the economy through less stringent protocols in some public establishments. Do you agree with the timing of this? This is so after a year of being in lockdown. So, is it right that we are slowly trying to start the economy, even though everyone's not vaccinated yet? What do you think, RK?
I think we have no choice
Hmm,
because we all have to make a living.
true.
The government cannot support us, so we have to make our own money.
Hmm,
And therefore, it has to open. The point is, I believe we can open. There should not be a problem. But still, protocol should be in place. Like people
hmm,
still should wear the mask, the face shields, social distancing. I think as long as people follow it, it will work. Problem
hmm.
is, not everybody is following it. You see, when
I
I go around,
see.
I was in Malabon the other day, uh, like social distancing. Hello, people were stepping over each other, and
Hmm,
not everybody was wearing face masks. So it depends also on the LGUs. How do they implement the health protocol?
hmm.
I stayed the last 7 months in Cagayan de Oro because I have a house in Cagayan de Oro. And we have very few cases in Cagayan because the LGUs are very strict with us there.
Okay.
Okay? You don't wear your face mask out, your face shield. If you don't wear your face shield outside, you are fined 2,000 pesos.
Mm.
Uh, and they're very strict with the social distancing and everything else. That's why we have very few cases in Cagayan de Oro. So if it's properly implemented, it can do well, and then also economy can go well because, like in Cagayan de
Mm.
Oro, the economy is okay actually right now because everybody can go after his business and do his job. So it really depends on the individual on how they follow also the protocol.
So
So
you're saying, RK, you are against lockdown because we really have to restart the economy, else everyone will starve. Um, but
let me
as we
interrupt you,
restart,
Karlo.
yeah.
I would say lockdown is necessary also if,
Mm,
like what the case of Ian in her neighborhood, there's a lot of infection. Yes, lockdown
mm,
should be very localized, but should not affect
I see.
the whole country, the whole country, the whole
Mm.
population, because otherwise we are at a total standstill. So that's
I
not
do,
really good for the economy at all.
I think that
Localized lockdowns, yes, I'm very much in favor as well.
I think that's brilliant. That's the approach there. If you're gonna do lockdown, it has to be localized in the area only wherein the concentration of infections are. But I believe in what you say. Restart the economy, but put stringent measures, stringent policies of social distancing, wearing face shield, wearing face mask, etc. But uh, business should go on.
Correct.
Else, the economy of the Philippines will just suffer.
And it is suffering actually.
Mm,
When you look around, so many, you can see so many signs for rent,
mm,
commercial spaces for rent.
that's true.
So, which you never saw before in the last 20 years or so. So this is definitely an indication that the economy is not fine. But it can go back to normal again.
Yeah,
We if we wait until everybody is vaccinated, it will take more than another year.
that's
Not
true.
everybody, not everybody can sustain that financially. So we have to
That's
open.
true.
But no choice.
That's true.
But responsible opening. That's what I would
Responsible,
suggest. Yeah.
responsible opening. That's great. These are great insights from RK. We really appreciate this, RK. Kathy, do you have another question?
Yes. Well, actually, RK partially answered this already. The next question is, how can we find the proper balance of safety and economy?
Actually, the balance is in ourselves. As long as we follow, I think people asking me, you, Aki, you're running around outside. You're not afraid to get the virus. I said, no, I'm not afraid because I'm wearing my face mask. I'm wearing my face shield. I don't embrace anybody. I don't shake hands. Run around. I'm using so much alcohol on my hands. It's unbelievable. So I think this is to me how we have to do it. It's true. I mean, for the first 60 years of my life, I didn't use as much alcohol on my whole body as the last couple of months.
You know what, RK? Kathy always sprays me with alcohol in my eye I don't know how many times,
Every
but she
minute.
always does.
Oh, I remember one time when I had to, regarding the topic of alcohol spraying, I had to renew my passport.
Ah,
Uh, I think that was like last month or 2 months ago. And there is what's that when there is a fingerprint capture.
correct.
So the lady said, "Can you do it again?" So we had to do it several times. I said, "I think alcohol has washed off my fingerprints." And then I said, "Oh, does that happen to you often?" And then she said, "Yes, it's a normal occurrence now." So yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
Ian, thank
Okay. For our next question, RK, regarding franchising, can you discuss profitability of this venture pre-COVID times and during COVID times? Make a comparative.
Actually, like any other business, franchise industry was affected or is affected from COVID as well. Some franchisors or their franchisees are doing very well, even during the pandemic, especially the food businesses, and others are out of business right now, especially the wellness sector. Some of the spas or salons haven't been able to recover until now. So it really depends on what sectors the economy they have been as well. Uh, and others actually really thrive in the during the pandemic. If you look, for example, at the milk teas, they are really thriving.
Ah,
All right.
wow.
you. Yeah.
Uh, a lot of people ask me actually always if the milk teas are a fad, and I say now I can see it's not a fad because it became really part of life, especially during the pandemic. People are crazy about milk teas, so they
Wow.
will stay here. All right, and even me, I'm thankful. Me, I don't like milk teas, but I'm thankful that we have milk tea companies because it also helped survive Arcade in the last 12 months because we have a lot of milk teas for franchise development.
Mm.
So there was a certain shift right now, and actually the shift is going back already since January. I'm actually surprised of the volume of clients we're getting again. I did
Mm.
not expect it. So even though we are in a pandemic now, but since January, we really feel that the economy is already on the upswing again.
Mm.
Uh,
That's
so
good
that's why
news.
I think we should not lock down the country as a whole because it would stop again. We would need another 2 3 months to restart again. So
Mm.
we already on the on the way up. So we should not stop here. That's why, as I said earlier, if ever there is a problem about COVID, it should be very much localized to the CTO or to the compound only, so that the rest of the world can go on with its business. Especially since we still have to wait probably another year until majority of us will be vaccinated, so that we have already the herd immunity almost achieved.
Mm.
That's right.
R RK, why do you think milk tea is popular now? Why do people love
I,
milk?
I, I think I think it's some kind of comfort food.
Yeah,
Mm,
I was
right,
gonna,
right.
I was gonna say
I think
it's an
so,
effective
because
comfort
people,
food.
especially it's a lot of I know from my clients, a lot of them they're thriving on the deliveries. So
Mm,
it's really, I think if you're locked down at home, I don't know, Ian, if you crave for milk tea, if you're locked down, but a lot of people do that, it seems,
mm,
because we have several clients who had tremendous sales increase since the lockdown compared to before March 2020, before the lockdown.
mm,
So I think it's comfort food. Comfort.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to know.
Thank you. Makes sense.
Wow, that's very interesting, RK, that you put there. No, we think all businesses are struggling because of the lockdown, but like what you mentioned, there are some businesses that were in sales even increased. If you were to compare their sales now and prior to lockdown, that
Correct.
is amazing. Uh, RK, I have another question. I'll shoot it. When I have started, when ano to? When I have started a new business and it is doing well, when is it the right time to branch out this business? So this
Okay.
question is, for example, I did my own business. I'm an entrepreneur, and it's a startup business, my own brand, and it's doing well. When do I finally decide now? Okay, I want to expand, and I should franchise out, and probably get an expert like you to help me with the mechanics. Can you guide us in this?
Yes, definitely. I think the best appropriate time for that is we actually we have only two requirements to consider your franchisable. First of all, you have to be profitable.
Okay.
Okay, you have to make money. If you don't know how to make money, how would your franchisees be able to make money? All right. And
True.
second,
Okay.
you have to be beyond the trial and error stage.
Okay.
So you have to feel already. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm doing it pretty well.
Mm.
All right.
You have a good system in place. You mean?
Yeah, not really system, but at least from the operation side, you're not screwing up. Okay, so that people are satisfied with the service of the product, and because anything else what you need to be a franchisor, we can take care of it. That's why you hire us as your consultant to develop the franchise for you. But
Okay.
if you don't know how to make money, nobody can help you there to make your franchisable. So that's it. And also, of course, that particular kind of business what you ever have in mind, there has to be also some kind of a need in other places. Diba? So it should not be only in your corner of the world, but there should be also a demand for that in other places, so that people will franchise it in other places.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we go on with the next question, RK, while you were talking in straight English, I heard one word, and then you said "diba." So I just want to know why you stayed here in the Philippines for 20 years. Can you speak and understand the language, Tagalog?
Tagalog at Bisaya.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh, galing.
wow.
Excellent.
Can you greet your kapwa Bisayas, RK?
Oo, syempre. Ngayong gabi sa imong tanan, sa Mindanao, sa Visayas, maayo pa na mag-join ka diri sa program.
Ah.
Galing. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Awesome.
Wow. I'm impressed, RK.
Salamat. Maraming salamat.
Okay,
Okay.
Kathy.
All right. So, hang on. Question is, when how does this persistent lockdowns affect business, and what measures can business owners take to stay afloat? So, 2 points.
Uh, yeah, as I said earlier, the lockdown is definitely a problem, so it should only be localized. Uh, One way on how to solve actually the movement, you see, because a lot of problem is logistics, movements. People traveling cannot travel because, so if you have, for example, you have branches in other places, you may have a problem visiting your outlet because you cannot. I mean, right now after they open it, you can travel relatively freely. But until recently, with all the requirements from the health department to the police, uh, it was relatively difficult to travel. Even me, I did not travel for 7 months. I was in Cagayan de Oro and I stayed home, and I was just traveling within Mindanao for to visit my clients. So the problem now is if you, let's say, like you have a Manila company and you have branches in the Visayas in Mindanao, theoretically you were not able to visit them, to look after them. Solution to that is actually franchise. Because if you have a franchise system, these outlets can be operated by franchises who are local in that area. All right. So the best, that's why I really believe so much in franchise, not only because I'm in the business, but because it makes so much sense, especially in times like this, the pandemic, where your movement is limited, that you have franchises who actually look after the local operations everywhere where they are.
Mm,
So That's the solution to one problem. Can franchising can be actually a solution to the problem of mobility in particular right now.
Right. So franchising, guys, is the key these days. So yeah, thank you, RK, for that.
If I can share from the point of RK, right across our street is a milk tea business. There's a small window, and then all their products are in the garage. So since we're under lockdown, no activity whatsoever. But they have a franchise within a 5 kilometer vicinity. So they simply took over the client request because everything is delivery. They simply took over the client base, and then they just give a heads up that it may take a few minutes longer. So that's like the potential and the key role of franchising for businesses, especially milk tea, the new comfort food for the pandemic.
Right.
Correct.
Anyway, moving on to the next question, RK. In order to stay afloat, if the business is struggling due to the COVID pandemic, do you think it's wise to get a business loan or simply close the business for the time being? So, what are the pros and cons to be considered?
Me personally, I'm not really so much fan of loans. I always say if I cannot afford it, I don't need it. All right, so maybe in the lucky position also that I never want a loan but the problem is also, we don't really know how long it will still take. How long will it still take us until we're really out of the woods? So if you take a loan, you have to repay it, no choice. All right. So
Yes, sir.
instead of probably neither closing down nor getting a loan, but maybe uh, do other stuff like talk to the landlord, because if you close down, the landlords make zero money. If you renegotiate your lease, all right, maybe you have to lay off some of the employees. Even me, I laid off a few of my employees. I had 24 a year ago. I have 10 people lesser now, especially because of the association, what we're managing, the Philippine International Franchise Association. So we're doing certain things which we stopped doing. Even us, we centered on things which make sense doing during the pandemic. And I harassed my landlord also to give me a discount in the. I'm in my building here for 17 years. I never asked him anything. And now I harassed him to give me a discount for 25% for 1 year for the pandemic. And they agreed on it because otherwise, what if I move out to make nothing at all? And they won't get a new lessee either. So I
Good
think you
point.
can have the courage to 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 negotiate a lot of things, even with suppliers probably, to get terms with suppliers. To close down might not depends also. It depends really what business you are. Some of my clients really closed down, like especially in the wellness sector. Some of them really had to close totally down, and I know some of them. I'm not sure if everybody will reopen again. I hope everybody will reopen again. It depends also on what kind of business you are into. Okay,
Okay.
if you're into a business which was really badly hit from the pandemic, like the salon business, it might
Mhm.
probably make sense to say, okay, I shut down for a few months, and God willing, if my landlord still wants me, I open up again. But other businesses, as long as they survive and they sustain it, maybe by cutting down expenses, um, that would be the better way to do.
That's very good
Loans,
advice.
loans is a different story, so it depends also how how good you are with the banks and how much you whatever you loan, what conditions you get from the bank. So, me personally, I'm not really, banks people don't like what I say, but me personally, I'm not really into getting loans. I have zero loans actually, which is an advantage also in the pandemic because I don't have to consider the repayment of loans, right? Because I have none.
Yeah.
So those companies who are really heavy hit right now are also those companies who have loan payments to do, right? And if they don't
Yeah.
have the sales to repay, so they're into trouble.
Yeah. Actually, to our audience, the RK is pointing out something really good, no? Um, just recently, no, me and Kathy, we went to Boracay with the church, and then we saw several hotels there. And as we know, no, that's the hospitality business, and because of this COVID thing, no, there's not much tourists there in Boracay now, so they are all suffering. So one major factor that will matter if or can a business survive like a certain hotel there is if they have a loan. If they are debt free, like what RK is saying, you can take a lot of do a lot of measures in order for you to survive. Like you can cost cut, you can talk to your landlord to
Landlord.
lower your rent rate. I'm sure he would understand because this pandemic is unprecedented. I mean, nobody expected this to come, and uh, the thing is, as I was listening to RK, I found yeah it's really sensible, no, and I found it ironic. um I thought to myself first, if this business being hit by the pandemic has a loan, chances are it might have difficulty to survive because it's paying off something monthly. If it is debt free, it can survive.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
if you are in a position wherein you are tight in cash because of this pandemic and you're running your business and cash flow is really low, I guess you don't want to get yourself into that trouble of getting a loan and then later on having monthly payments. Diba? So it might be more difficult. So this advice of RK is really good for business owners.
Yeah.
Really good. And it he's not going to the extremes, extreme of getting the loan or extreme of closing down. He is suggesting measures that are realistically helpful, which are positioned in the middle. So thank you so much, RK. You want to add
You know,
something, RK?
hello, one more thing to that. You know, the banks are also careful right now with giving loans.
Oh, I see.
Because they're also hit. Not everybody can repay them right now. So they're also kind of
Oh,
selective with clients. So
I
they want to
see.
make sure also now that you can pay them. Meaning to say you have to have money to pay your loan. So if you have money anyway, probably you don't need loan either.
I see. I am curious about something. No, I'm sure. I don't know if you're the right person who could answer this, RK. But taken that you said that banks are very careful of extending loans right now, are they offering higher interest rates? Are they doing?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not
Okay,
really. I only hear from clients.
I see.
Oh,
I think he froze.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so
But yeah, we'll
Carlo,
wait for him to come back. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He's back.
RK fan.
Go ahead, RK.
Yeah,
We lost you for a while.
to just repeat, yes, just to repeat that for I learned from some people also who wanted to borrow that it's kind of difficult right now to actually get loan. So probably it might be better to use your own financing if you have, uh, and or wait until the pandemic is over.
I
Mhm.
see. Okay, thank you so much, RK. For our next question, or Kathy, would you like to ask the next question?
Um, yeah, do you think the government should shy away from the lockdowns, from implementing these, as it negatively affects the economy? Well, actually, we talked about this already earlier. Um, so yeah, we can ask RK his recommendations to help the businesses, the government, and the people strike a balance to protect and promote the safety of health and keep the economy going.
Yeah, the balance is actually that the government should lock down uh, very localized so that the rest of the country can be open and can be in business. And I think that's how it should work, and that's how it can work. But again, like I said at the beginning, it depends also on the people how cooperative they are in following the standards on social distancing, on mask and face shield wearing. I find it so stupid that sometimes you see people they're wearing the mask but on the chin, not here. You see, so this is totally stupid. You see, so that's where people should start thinking of what's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Um, okay, I have a question after this question from our viewer, Tita Norma Geronimo. She is asking, what can you say about the real estate business?
If you ask me, I'm sorry, I'm the wrong person to be asked because I'm not involved in the real estate business. I'm into franchising, and I'm not really following the real estate
Mm-hmm.
industry also because we have no clients in that sector.
Right, right. That's not
So
your
I'm not following them. So sorry, Norma, I can't
Tita
say
Norma.
anything to that
Uh,
one.
Thanks, RK. But you know what? Ian can actually give her um, opinion on this
Just
because
yeah.
she works for a real estate company.
Yes, I work for a real estate company, and we have projects here and in the province. And since the pandemic wave, though, during the GCQ, when the government declared GCQ, we have seen a rise in activity rate in terms of real estate. So more people are not just buying, but more people are having their homes built. Where they previously just had real estate, now they're building homes. They are relocating, so, in terms of real estate, based on our experience, whether here or in the province, it is on the rise because, again, people are seeking to find comfortable places for living where they meet the safety and health preferences. So,
Hmm.
there, that's
Car- okay, so we hope that answers your question. And I know, Carlo, you have an opinion on this also. Most people are buying property in the south, and they're buying beach property, right? They're veering away from the city.
Oh yeah. There's this article that I read. I think it came from the Insider or something. It said that uh, work culture will change forever in a sense that work from home, even after the pandemic, the companies would realize that work from home is feasible. So, therefore, it is less overhead for them rather than renting big offices to house their employees. They would just probably 50% of the workforce will be working from home and the other 50% will be working in the office because it is just cost efficient and it could gain more results, which um, um, it is kind of a blessing in disguise during this pandemic. We were forced, the companies were forced, everyone was forced to learn how to work from home. And this will affect the real estate industry in the sense that I think it is connected to what Ian is observing in their company that if before real estate activity was centralized in the CBD or the Central Business District, now it will go. It will move away or expand rather to the outskirts or the outside territory of the CBD, provincial, because um, living today, no, living during the pandemic and after the pandemic, living near your offices is not that uh, vital anymore because you work from home. You do your work digitally. So you can have your meetings through Zoom. You submit everything. Everything is online. You submit your papers through the computer. So therefore, if you live, let's say, in Cavite and you're working in Makati, it is the same from a if you compare yourself to a person who lives in Makati and works in Makati, the output is the same. So I think people are realizing this, and that is the reason why they are kind of, like Ian said, relocating in a way. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, provinces has its own appeal. The only thing that's stopping people to move from to provinces is because they're far from work. But what if the time came that the distance from work is irrelevant now?
Mhm. Right.
So people might be thinking seriously of moving to the province.
Right.
So
I have a former colleague who wrote an email to me, offering an HR program. So she told me that she is now based in Boracay and working from there.
Okay.
So
see,
she's a digital nomad now, she said. So I am thinking of the same thing.
yeah, that is the situation now.
Mm.
RK, thank you so much for your
Before,
guesting. We really appreciate it. Oh, there's a yeah. Go ahead, Kathy.
yeah, before we let RK go, thank you, Tita Norma, for your question. Before we let you go, RK, um, can you suggest to us the top three businesses that we should franchise if we're interested to invest our money in something right now?
Actually, there's a lot of good franchises out there. I would not want to favor the one over the other, especially
Okay.
among my clients. I want to treat
Okay.
them all fairly. But
Yeah.
it's more on three things what you should consider if you want to franchise something. First of all, your budget, okay?
Mm,
If you have the right money to invest. Second is your interest, what you want to do.
mm,
You don't have to be afraid if you're interested. Let's say like you want to open a restaurant, but you don't know how to cook. That's fine.
mm.
As long as you know how to eat, you're perfectly qualified. Okay.
As long as you know how to eat. Uh,
Yeah. And then the third is location, that you with your business on the right location.
yeah.
But there is a lot of opportunities out there, be it in the food or be it in the non-food. Let's say like right now, we just developed a client in the LPG business. You see, so again, necessary during the pandemic. If you want to be more safe, you go into any kind of business. What has been allowed to operate during the ECQ period? Okay, anything
Mm,
that has to do with
I
food
see.
or anything with necessity, then you're
Mm,
actually safe that you can operate 365 days a year because a lot of businesses were open also during the ECQ time if they were have been considered as essential. So that could
that's
be.
good advice there.
So if you want to franchise now something, if you don't want to wait until the pandemic is over, which is fine, you can go now. Because right now, if you get a franchise now, the advantage is actually a lot of franchisors are very accommodating right now. They give discounts to the franchisees. Also, landlords are very accommodating because so many spaces are available.
Mm.
All right. So
Right.
theoretically, you could take advantage of that.
Yeah.
However, if you want to franchise right now something, I suggest you do something what fits to the season. Okay, if to call it
Mm,
that way. So
mm,
what what
okay.
what what is a pandemic say? Call it that way. All right, and then
Right.
other things which you might want to do, but let's say like salons or so, you may wait until the pandemic is over because it will not take forever. Also, one day it will be over, and then life will be going back to normal for the next 100 years or so. No?
Mm.
Yeah.
So
So the 3 points again: budget, interest,
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 location.
location.
location. Okay. In very important points to consider. All
Really
right.
good.
Do you have any more questions, Ian, Carlo, for RK while
I'm
he's
good.
still here?
RK,
Okay.
thank you so much. We
Thank you so
learned a
much.
lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Anytime.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Thank
RK.
you.
God bless you.
Thank
Nice
Take
you.
to
Thank
care.
meet
you.
you,
Stay safe.
RK.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. So,
All right.
um,
Maybe we can finally see our pandemic win.
okay, let's try, huh?
Let's
Hang on.
try.
Um, there's last.
Kathy is our to everyone. Kathy is our in-house technician. She has
Yeah,
she
we've come a
Master
is an
long way.
multitask.
expert. She is an expert in computers, and
It's not cooperating right now. Sorry. Oh, promise, it's not my fault. Um,
okay, it's the computer's
Then
fault then.
for
it's
next
The
see,
time,
I'm
computer
then.
is sabotaging you, Kathy.
yeah, it's challenging my skills. Wait ha, kasi I promise you it's already here. Talaga, I see the what we're supposed to project.
And we saw it earlier, Carlo, when she showed
Yeah.
us.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay.
See, share screen and then and I there's no highlight on the share button right now and I don't know why. Sorry. So I guess we need to start with that segment, new segment that we have on Lucha's channel next week.
Yeah.
Okay, we can
Um,
do it next week. No worries, Kathy.
Yeah. We're
sorry.
No
still looking
worries.
forward to it.
Uh,
So yeah.
Nobody's questioning your computer skills.
All right. So
Yeah.
we move on with our next segment, which is our takeaway. This is how we
Yep.
normally end our show.
So
So
yeah.
our takeaway. Well, my takeaway for tonight is we learned so much from RK. He said some important points that we should consider: the budget, the interest, and the location.
Hmm.
If we're considering to put up a business right now, and there is an opportunity for franchising, and also he said that right now it's is the if you want to start a business, it's the right time because uh, if spaces, I mean, owners of spaces would be more considerate on payments, on rates, and also franchisors would be also considerate right now if you want to try out on investments.
Hmm.
People are kinder nowadays because we're
Yeah.
all trying to feel out what will work in this pandemic.
Yeah.
He also said that we have to study what works during the season. So those things
True.
we have to consider. And yeah, that's it. That's my takeaway. And I'm so grateful to be in the show for a year now, and to be with
Yes.
both of you and all our guests who gave their time for us for the past year. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So for my takeaway, our show this evening is entitled "Safety versus Economy in a Pandemic." But as we have discussed this evening, I think it should be safety and the economy. There are two things should not be versus, but they should be together, one with the other. Because I think the main point that we have determined this evening is the economy must move forward, and so must we. But the key point here is us. for us to strike a balance, for us to have both safety and economy. The question should be, what are we going to do? How are we going to follow? It's not about pointing the implementers, whether it's the government. It's not about the businesses, whether um, they go by the guidelines, which they do. It's simply about each and every one of us following the same thing because we have the same objective. We all have the same endpoint in mind. We want to move on with our lives, define a new normal, and we want to remain safe while we not just boost the economy, but advance and again look forward to a development for tomorrow where we have accepted that COVID-19 is part of our lives, but we will overcome it. So again, it is the I. So that's my
Right.
takeaway.
Hmm.
Nicely
Very nicely
put.
put. As
Okay.
always.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Kathy. Thank you so much, Ian. I'm about to say something, but before I say it, I just want to say that, Kathy, we're 1 year now.
Mhm.
This is our anniversary. All I
Happy
can
Yay!
say is
anniversary.
woohoo! Yeah, and yeah, so we're 1 year, guys. Thank you so to everyone who's been watching us. You've been following us for a year already. We really, really appreciate it. It has been awesome. It has been fun. Um, Before we close, I just want to say, as you know, we've been adopted by Sustainable PH, and not only can you watch Lucy's channel, wherein you get, all the great insights from our guests. We talk about, productive things, but you also get great content from Sustainable PH. A lot of great content to be exact. There is These are the other shows: Sustainable Lifestyle, Breakfast with a King. That's Kathy and me. Sustainabuzz. You have uh, Sustainable
That's
Soul Searcher. You have No Frills Mama. You have the Green Man, and
mhm.
there are two other new shows that are coming up.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Kathy, can you tell us more about this?
Oh, tomorrow we're launching Sustainable PH Youth Show. That's Sustainapod. That airs at
Great.
8 o'clock tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, 8 or 7. So just
Mhm.
look at our accounts, social media accounts, to watch that. And then next week we're launching our German Friends show that is called Walang Plastikan. He is so fluent in Tagalog, and he will be streaming live from Germany. Where in Germany is that, Carlo? I don't remember now.
Sorry, I could not recall. Yeah,
Recall it. But yeah,
yes.
he's gonna stream live from Germany, and then so that's going to be every Friday, every other Friday, naman. So yeah, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're watching this on live or replay, thank you for spending time with us tonight.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
Ian,
everyone.
Bye.
Yes.
Kathy,
Bye, Kat and Carlo.
it's good hanging out with you. It's good hanging out with everyone too. I'll see you. Well, we will see you next Thursday.
Next
Next
And
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
yeah, till then, kudos. Bye bye.
Next week we have Kian Kazemi, the owner
Okay,
of Persia Grill, Kite, and Lobo. So thank you so
Nice.
much, everybody. God
awesome.
bless
Looking forward. Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Take care.
Okay,
Stay
bye
bye.
safe.
bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
RK. Thank you.